Good evening, Gold Stars. Today is October 23rd, 2019. I'm Dom Gold, your host, and somebody keeps stealing my debit card. I really don't know why. And this is the Dom Gold Update. That's your cue, Taylor. Just listen to this 8-bit music till he plays the stinger.
Oh.
Are we running that back? You need me to say it again? Okay, this is the Dom Gold Update.
It's gonna be a second.
Oh, okay. We're still figuring things out. This is our beta test. Well, I'll go ahead and just talk, and you just raise your hand when you're ready to play the stinger, and then we'll jump into things. I usually do update videos, the Dom Gold Update, and those were getting posted like every 6 months, which obviously is no good. Consistent. If your content is not consistent, then what's the point? If they wrote a textbook every 20 years, what are you really learning in school? So we're deciding to move to a weekly show here live on YouTube. We're gonna see how it works out. We're fixing out the kinks. We've got Dowd Productions, our big umbrella company, ready to go. Are you ready with that stinger? Mm-hmm. All right. We're gonna do this for real now. How many people we got on our chat now watching us? Got 5. Hello, 5 viewers. Please leave comments. We will get back to you at some point in the show. But this is the Dom Gold Update. And we're back. So, I already told you what we're kind of doing here. We're gonna start off with a song of the week. Now, my song of the week, wow, that was abrupt. We're definitely gonna need to find like soundtrack to play.
I faded it.
That was getting me going though. That was really getting, what was that video so we can link people to it?
Saxon 747, Strangers in the Night.
There we go, yeah. I told Taylor I wanted music to play, so I just said, look up Strangers in the Night 8-bit. And that's what we found. I thought it was really nice. But my song of the week actually has been Everything Ends by Slipknot from their Iowa album. Now, if you have been following me on Instagram, social media, etc., you would know that I recently went to Iowa to see Slipknot. And so that actually is a video that will be coming out shortly, within the next month. It's a lot of footage I gotta go through, cut up. I'm also working on another video right now where I discuss my sister and I, is this new music
This is royalty-free Young Lean type beat.
Oh, hell yeah. I love Young Lean. We could go on and on about artists. We'll talk at Young Lean on another cast. I've got a lot to say about him. I photographed him once, actually, but we'll get into that a later date. Give you a reason to tune in next week. But we're going to talk about Slipknot today because that actually ties us into some of our other things we're talking about. So Everything Ends. The lyrics go, you are wrong, fucked, and overrated. I think I'm gonna be sick, and it's your fault. And I feel like that's something a lot of people can resonate. I mean, Taylor, how do you feel about that?
It really vibes with a lot of some of the stuff that I've been going through day to day. And, you know, I'm glad that finally somebody's speaking out about it.
Exactly, yeah. So thank you, Slipknot, for really speaking the truth, speaking your minds. They have a new album out that's really great, but I've been listening to their classic second album, Iowa. So Slipknot's kind of spooky. We're in spooky season. And what also is spooky and Slipknot related, an anime, none other than Dorohedoro, which, if you follow me, you should know what Dorohedoro is. If you're tuning in and you don't know what Dorohedoro is, it is a fantastic manga that has been going on since 2000, I believe, was its first publishing year. It recently ended last year, and now it is getting its anime adaptation, 2020, January 12th. It's going to be airing on Tokyo MX, which is like the Tokyo, Japan's station. Studio Mappa's making it. I'm trying to think of things Studio Mappa made. Oh yeah, we got Dorohedoro right here. This is actually the last volume cover of Dorohedoro. They based the anime versions of the characters after this art here, actually, which I thought was really cool. Dorohedoro is one of those series where, like, when they first drew it for the first volume, art style looked very, very different. That was probably really loud in your ear. Art style probably looked very, well, no, it did look very different. And it adapted over time, so the anime is taking after the last rendition of it for its final volume. Very excited for that. I think the end of the trailer actually says Netflix. I can't read Japanese. If you can read, please tell me in the comments below what that says. It says Netflix, and there's some kanji or Japanese text there. I can't read it, but I'm assuming if it says Netflix, that means it's gonna be on Netflix. They're getting an artist called Known Name to compose the music. I can't remember if one of their songs was featured on the Dorohedoro album, but they actually made a compilation album of artists back in about 2016, 2017 to make music for Dorohedoro, so it was an album inspired by the manga. And I'm really hoping to see some of that music in the anime, because it was just phenomenal and perfectly captured the essence of the show. I highly recommend Dorohedoro to anyone who's a fan of horror manga, wholesome characters, strong women. If you like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's got a similar vibe where everything's very silly and out there, but it takes itself seriously within its own universe. It's a lot of fun. I've cosplayed 5 characters from it. I'm gonna be revisiting one that I did 2 years ago. The character's name is Dokuga. He's moth-themed, and I will be wearing him to AWA, Anime Weekend Atlanta, this year, which is Halloween weekend, which that kind of pulls us to our next topic about Anime Weekend Atlanta. That's a con I've been going to for 3 years now. I've really been enjoying it. It's interesting because out of all the cons I've been to, it's probably one of the biggest party cons, and it doesn't seem like it would be, you know? I don't know. But it's always been a very lit time at Anime Weekend Atlanta, as the kids would say. But the first time I went, I wore Dokuga. I did a group. My friend did Shin, which is the man with the heart mask. And then my other friend did Dr. Katsukabe. We might have them on the show at some point. I really want to bring other people onto this show to talk about their interests, talk about what's going on, talk about anime, and all that fun stuff that intertwines, because that's what we're all about here. Things intertwine. And that's something I totally skipped over, was the fact that Dorohedoro has a lot of Slipknot influence. And that's kind of why I chose that as the song for today, to kind of segue into that topic. Kyuha Yashida, the author of Dorohedoro, she is a huge Slipknot fan. Obviously, a lot of the mask designs, a lot of the just art, the grungy, gross violentness of Dorohedoro kind of is influenced by that. There's a lot of straight up references, like there's like, if you're 555, then I'm 666 posters in the background. There's all kinds of references in there, and it's great. And it's just a bunch of my favorite things all put together into one. And that's something that I notice with everything that I like. I mean, you look at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and you've got David Bowie in there. Or you look at Metal Gear Solid and you've got David Bowie in there. So obviously David Bowie just transcends all anime and Japanese culture. And he's always going to be there, and he's always with us. So rest in peace and in his memory. But Anime Weekend Atlanta, going to be great. And speaking of JoJo, I also will be doing Anasui from Part 6 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Those of you who follow the anime know Part 5 just ended, and we are waiting for the Part 6 anime. We're waiting for that good Florida anime, and I'll be doing a character from it. We're doing like a wedding version. One of my friends is doing a wedding Jolene. Oh, we're cross-fading music. We're doing some DJing. Is this almost like, I feel like this is like time for me to segue to the next topic. So as we're segueing from anime and cons, leave a comment below. Favorite con experience? What's an anime con that sticks out to you that you think is lit? Like it's a party con. Like you're gonna go there, have a good time, hang out with your friends, and get lit. So, moving right along, we're still in spooky season, so we've been consuming all kinds of spooky content. Dorohedoro, obviously, Slipknot, of course. And then we're getting into the good 1980s horror films. My favorite genre of horror films are ones from the 80s. I want to almost say that anime from, or not anime, but movies, horror movies from the 80s are their own genre. They're very defined by their time. I mean, as all movies are, movie genres are, but horror definitely is defined by the era that it's in. But the movie I watched recently was Fright Night. Not the remake, the 1985 version, directed by Tom Holland. Not Spider-Man, by the way. Different Tom Holland. It's a fun movie because it starts off almost as if it's gonna be like this cheesy sitcom of, oh no, there's a vampire that lives next door. And then it just turns into like a monster movie, special effects, visual effects, makeup effects, like horror. Just great time. It's a great time. And I love the contrast between the intro of the movie and the end. The visual effects are great, and the makeup effects are so good. There's actually like a moment where there's like a 5-minute long scene of a werewolf like de-transforming, and you see like 4 different stages of this vampire. So they had to do all these different makeups from vampire, werewolf. I'm sorry. Same difference in this film. We got the poster right there. So if you're a fan of horror, fan of 1980s horror stuff, I definitely recommend Fright Night. Great film.
Yes.
Oh, we got the soundboard up. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. We're getting it all figured out here on the show. Man, I just keep thinking back to how excited I am for Dorohedoro. If you haven't read the manga for it, I highly recommend. I'm not sure how the anime is gonna go. A lot of people are worried because it is more of a 3D animated anime rather than like a traditional 2D animated anime. And obviously anime such as Berserk that were 3D were not good. But I have a lot of hope for this. I feel like they're gonna take the approach where they're just gonna go page by page and play out the whole series. Because this preview is literally like the first volume. Like there's nothing from later volumes, so I don't think they're gonna try to condense it into like a 16 episode show. I don't think they're gonna try to mash it down like that. I'm trying to think on what else Mappa did. I think they did Yuri on Ice, which I thought was really interesting. I know a lot of people like that show. I've never gotten into it, but I've heard good things about it. I've heard good things about Mappa, so I'm excited to see what they do with the show. They really brought the... Dorohedoro is interesting because, as you can see, it's very grungy and rough around the edges, but it's also very colorful. And I think the anime of what they've shown so far with the preview, I don't know if we can have the preview roll in without its sound in the background, just so it doesn't drown us out. It was really... We were doing sound test earlier. It was blowing out our eardrums. So I don't know if we can get that working. But... animation looks, I think it looks really fluid. There it is. Oh, there we go. Incredible. So here it is here. If you haven't watched already, I highly recommend watching the preview for it. But as I was saying, it only goes over like the first few chapters of Dorohedoro. So we're hoping that it's just like frame by frame, like what they did with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. How David Productions just kind of went page by page and made every episode exactly how the manga was. I'm really hoping they do the same with Dorohedoro. But the manga is over. It's about 150 odd or so chapters.
Wow.
Yeah. So not hard to get through. I've recommended it to people and they've read it in an entire month. Was that Tommy Wiseau? Was that him saying wow?
Wow.
You don't know? Okay. To
No
me, that
idea.
sounds like Tommy Wiseau. Leave a comment below if you think that was Tommy Wiseau. And let me know what you're thinking about the new Dorohedoro anime. If you have hopes for the 3D animation. If you're thinking it's not good at all, I want to hear it. I think it looks great. I think they did all the characters justice. They all look really good. And I'm just glad to see such a well-written manga with such a good cast of characters kind of getting some more light shined on it.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know. It's one series that I read that there's not a single character in that series that I don't like. And I found that very impressive, because even in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, there's some characters like, nah, that character didn't work for me. I'm good. But this series, see right there at the end, it said Netflix. So I think it's gonna come to Netflix. I don't know if that's like a to be announced thing. I don't speak Japanese, like I've said before, so we'll figure it out. But yeah, we'll be wearing that to AWA, which is awesome because it's during Halloween. Dorohedoro even addresses Halloween as a holiday, as like the Day of the Dead, and that's when a bunch of zombies come to life and they have to kill a bunch of zombies. It's a bunch of horror fun, a lot like Fright Night, where it's just like, let's put in all these horror monsters with a pretty nice and engaging story. I don't know, and cons during holidays are always fun. So there's AWA, which we'll be going to during Halloween, and then in December we have Holiday Matsuri, which isn't during Christmas, but it's during the season. It's close enough. Everyone goes in Christmas attire and hats and everything. It's great. Winter-themed con. And I don't know, I think bringing cons during the holiday season just really, I don't know, it's extra festive. It's like going to an extra Halloween party or an extra Christmas party or holiday party or whatever you want to celebrate, whatever you want to do. I think it's great, and it's really fun, and it allows you to do like those holiday themed character cosplays and all that. It's a great time. So we're gonna tie into some other things we've been doing this week. Unfortunately, I haven't been playing any horror games this month. I know a lot of people they've been playing, I don't even know which horror games came out this week, or not this week, but like recently. I mean, everyone's been playing through Resident Evil and all those, going back to it, just revisiting the classics. There we go. We got the game. Excellent. I love it. I've been playing God of War 2018. I guess Nordic mythology can be a little spooky. You know, I'd be scared if I walked into a cave and a giant troll came out and tried to eat the flesh off my bones. So I'd say you could make that horror. It's interesting. I just was at another convention called EXPCon. I helped to host 2 different YouTube poop panels there. It was a great time. Meg64 boys were there. Always enjoy what they do. But one of the guests was actually, or 2 of the guests were 2 of the voice actors from God of War. And I thought it was really interesting because I went to their panel and they were talking about how, because they did the motion capture for these performances, so their facial expressions and their voice and their movement, it was all captured in this 900-page script that they did for this God of War game. So it was Kratos and Freya, I believe is the character's name, were there, and they did a panel. And it was interesting because Kratos' voice actor was talking about how this performance of Kratos was almost his apology to his children. So if you aren't familiar with the game, it's kind of Kratos learning to be a dad. Spoiler alert, but the game starts off with Kratos' wife passing away. So that's not too much of a spoiler. It's literally the start of the game. So he's left with his son, and he hasn't had this experience before. He hasn't had to deal with this. He was the god of war in Greek mythology, and then he ran away to Nordic mythology, and now he has to take care of a kid. And Kratos' actor was going into how, because he also was the guy that was on Stargate, and he realized that that 10 years he was doing Stargate, he wasn't really there for his kids because he was always out and recording for the show. And so he really took his emotion from not being there for his kids and not parenting them right, and really put that into this performance. And it was really interesting how him and the voice actress for Freya prepared for this role, because they prepared completely different. She went through Nordic mythology and knew everything there was to know, and why her character was the way she was, which would make sense because her character is someone of that realm, whereas Kratos isn't. And so the way he prepared is he didn't look up anything. He knew nothing about the mythology or anything. And I think that really fits for Kratos' character. It's been really great. I don't know how far I'm into the game. I think I only got to like the first area, so I'm not too far in. I did get to the big serpent, as we see up here on stage left. And I think we're in the elf realm fighting all the dark elves now. It's a good game, great mechanics. I'm sure all of you have played it already. I'm slow. I'm really slow with games. I just beat Red Dead like last month. I really got to pick it up though, because I know we've got Death Stranding coming, which I've got pre-ordered. I've got the collector's edition, so I will have the baby. I'll bring it on the cast once we get it. I'll bring it on the update. We've got Jedi Fallen Order, which I'm really excited for, because I thought Battlefront 2's campaign was phenomenal. If you haven't checked that out, and you like Star Wars, and you like a good third-person or first-person shooter, because you can switch between them, highly recommend it. And they
Do it!
Yeah, do it.
Do it!
Listen to Shia. They've also provided so many updates for the multiplayer, and it's actually a really good. It was kind of a failed game at launch, but it's done a complete 180, and it's a great game now. I know we've talked about me and Taylor are discussing on maybe doing some gaming stuff on here. Maybe we'll bring the PS4 in here, do some gaming, get my gamer tag up here. You guys can join me in a Battlefront 2 match or something we can throw down. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Well, that's something I'm looking forward to doing and adding to the show. I've streamed on Twitch a bit with games, just through PlayStation's streaming, and that was fun. So we might do some stuff like that. We'll see.
Looks like we got a commenter here, Slightly Shane.
Okay.
Can you see on your laptop?
Oh, I'm an idiot. I could totally be looking at that right now.
You're not an idiot.
Again, this is the pilot. We're just figuring things out. Oh, look, it's me. Okay, so...
Did you hear about D's?
Is it of the nut variety?
These nuts.
Yeah.
Got him!
That is really loud.
Okay, Slightly Shane, thanks for being engaged here. David Bowie was awesome. He is awesome. Will always be awesome. We stan. Are we zooming in? Are we doing a bit? David Bowie. Awesome. It's interesting. So I guess we'll talk about that now. Why not? So David Bowie for me was a really interesting experience. That's a weird sentence. David Bowie for me was a weird experience, but he was, because my mom was a huge David Bowie fan. She went and saw him 7 times. She's given me like original 1975 posters of him I have up in my room and everything. And I always appreciated his music because I grew up with it. Like, it was always playing when I was around. But I didn't really like decide on my own that I was gonna like listen to his whole discography and get really into him until my freshman year of college. I remember I was taking a drawing class, and I remember I'd put on David Bowie and just draw and listen to his music and get really into it. And that was 2015. And so his album Black Star was coming out, and I was super excited for it. I think I had it pre-ordered and everything. And like, it was interesting because I appreciated his newer music. Like, obviously I love his classics like Space Oddity, which I have the Vans of. I'll bring those on the shows for an outfit one time. And we'll get to outfits and fashion later. That's what we'll end on. I've got the David Bowie Vans. I've got the original David Bowie fan club postcards. Yeah. Whoa. So yeah, I was really into his newer music and like actively following him. And then he passed away, and it was just so devastating that something that was passively a part of my whole life, and then now currently super engaged with my life, and then he passed away. It was really sad, and we'll remember that. His music got me through a lot that first year of college for sure. And that Black Star album really means a lot to me, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. It's great. Yeah, that was a really cool way to apologize. Hope his son's... Okay, yeah, you're commenting on God of War. I'm getting to the comments now.
It's probably a delay as well.
Yeah, it's probably a delay. What I'm talking about is already happening before you're seeing it, so...
He's in the future.
I am in the future. I'm ahead of y'all. Okay, yeah, I'm looking over. I don't have it playing on my computer because I don't want to interfere but I can see it over there that the lag's happening. And yes, eventual genius, my inner theater kid, is always there and is always keeping stage lefts and stage rights.
So Dominic, here's a question for you.
All right.
How often do you think you're going to be doing this? How are you liking it so far?
I am loving this. I hope we're back here every Wednesday. So hopefully we can gain a bigger audience for this. What are we at right now? For watching. And that was, we announced it today. So, and have we gone through everything that we were going to talk about? I know I'm saving some things for the end. We didn't discuss the Soft Moon yet.
I don't know what that is. So
the Soft Moon's an artist. Actually, I think you would really enjoy their music, Taylor. I'm not sure exactly the type of music you're into. Kind of dark synthy, indie rock-ish type stuff. I forget what their genre would be. I don't know if you want to Google that and do a little fact check for us. But so I just graduated college. I just did my BAS in video production and multimedia. And for my final bachelor's thesis project, I had to make a short film. And so the short film's called Intruser. I don't know if you can go to my Instagram, the Daug Productions Instagram, and actually pull up.
Yeah.
I have some promo images on there. Either it should be on the Facebook
Soft
too.
Moon is an American post-punk band from Oakland, California.
Post-punk, there you go, yeah. Thank you, text-to-speech. So it was interesting because I only had like 3 months to make this short film, which the final cut of it's at about 17 minutes, and I hope to be releasing that next week. Soon. I'm still trying to figure out, I'm looking at some film festivals right now, and I'm waiting to see if it's going to get in or not, because film festivals, a lot of them have a thing where they want to be the first one to show your movie. So I'm just making sure that I don't interfere with any of that. And if not, hopefully we will have Intruser out and you guys can watch it. Hopefully I'll have it up by next Wednesday and I can talk about it on the next cast.
Dom, you know what would be really cool is if we could have like your Instagram as the background.
Is that what you have right now?
Let me see if I can work on that.
Are you
Whoa,
it?
that is cool. Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead and pull up the Daug Productions Instagram.
Okay, it's a different one.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Obviously, we there we go. So we've got some promo images for Intruser there. We've got the poster, and we've got a couple stills from the film. I'll move my head.
Look at that.
Out of the way.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
So, we have Dalton in it. If any of you follow me in my stuff, or even Thomas's stuff, Dalton's always been in a lot of things.
I think it's time to make you smaller.
It's time to make me smaller so we can kind of commentate. Dalton's a phenomenal actor. I loved putting him in this role because he usually gets typecasted for his voice. Dalton's got a very deep voice, so usually he's made to be like the front, cool, suave guy, or usually like the bad guy. And so this role was very different from what he's used to doing. This was a very broken, sad man that had to show a lot of saddened emotions and anger and jealousy. And that's not something he gets casted for a lot. And he was telling me that. He's like, I really appreciate that you casted me for this role for that purpose. So I thought that was really cool that I could do that for him and that he could be the actor for my film. Got a lot of great other actors in the film. I'm excited to show it to y'all. Again, like I said, hopefully I can have it up soon so we can be talking about it. I can get some feedback. But let everyone know that it is coming. Check out the Daug Productions Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. There's more updates about that there. I usually try to repost some of that main stuff towards the Dom Gold stuff. And also check out the Daug Productions YouTube as well. I know we're on the Dom Gold YouTube right now, but we do have my series Dr. Cowboy. Season 1 is in development. Not sure for how long it will be in pre-production. It's in pre-production right now. But we'll see. Do you have my live stream behind me? That's incredible.
I'm all over the place.
Cool. Yeah, we're on the Daug Productions right now. It's got some of my photography I've done, some of my logo design. I've got a lot of photography of cosplayers, obviously, in the community, for the community. There we go, Dr. Cowboy. That's a series that I've been working on since early high school, and it's still one that I've got there on the back burner. I don't even want to say it's on the back burner. It's on the front burner, but it's got a while, or it's in the oven.
It's on one of the burners.
It's on a burner or oven. Maybe it's an air fryer. I'm not sure. Whatever.
There's heat involved.
There's heat involved, and it is progressing. That's all you need to know. It will advance. That was the super blood wolf moon I took pictures of. But getting back to the moon, we're going back to the soft moon, and that's why I brought up my film. So when I was in pre-production for my film, I had a lot of time thinking, well, the film has very, very little dialogue. It actually, I don't think a single word is even spoken. I should know that. I made the film. I don't have a summary of it up anywhere. I'm sorry I'm getting to these comments late. I will have a trailer up next week, if anything, if I don't have the full film up. Like I said, we're still figuring that out. But anyways, in pre-production, I was trying to get a feel for the soundscape of the film, because obviously with no dialogue, the music has to help carry a lot of the emotion and has to say kind of what's going on, in conjunction and working with the actors' expressions and the lighting of the scene and the angles of the shots and, movie stuff that I went to school for. What's behind It Kills? What's
This is
behind
the Soft Moon
Oh, okay.
music video.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fade it in.
So I was awesome. I don't think they're gonna copy strike us, because I got kind of jumping ahead. They gave me permission to use some of their music for the film, because I was listening on. I made a Spotify playlist. I don't know. I gotta figure out how I can get that shared. My Spotify account's messed up, because I always did want to share like monthly Spotify playlists. I'm always told I have a very unique music taste.
You do.
And I like sharing it with people. And I feel like my music taste really ties in with all the other media that I consume. And that's kind of why I want to do this Dom Gold update every week, is to kind of have this very specific gathering of all these niche medias. But I was listening on Spotify and this song came up. It was Wasting from the Deeper album. And I was like, that's it. That's my movie. This song is my movie. Like, the feeling and the emotion. This is my... Yeah, there you go. If you want a synopsis of Intruser, just go ahead and listen to the song Wasting by The Soft Moon. And so I was like, well, that's cool, but they're a big artist. I'm going to still have to make my own copyright-free music. But then it was kind of getting closer to the deadline. I was in the middle of production, and I was like, the person who's going to help me make music, I wasn't sure how reliable they were going to be and if they were going to help me get the music done on time. And so I said, well, I'll just shoot my shot, and I'll just DM them on Instagram. So I sent them a very big message like, hey, I'm a student. I'm making a short film. I would really like to use your music. I feel it perfectly encaptures the feeling and emotion of my film, and I think they would synergize very well together. I sent this out to a few artists, including some bigger names like Chromatics and Boy Harsher. And not everyone got back to me. Boy Harsher got back to me, but they obviously wanted royalties, which I was expecting some type of licensing payment to come back from a lot of these artists. And obviously me being a college student just didn't have the budget for it, but I do, you're getting it first here on the podcast. I do intend to do maybe a sequel, maybe with a budget. So maybe we'll see some Boy Harsher music. I'll get in touch with them. If Boy Harsher, if you're listening, I still have you on my mind, and we'll get you some money. But,
we actually did get picked up for copyright for that. Yeah. They didn't shut us down, but
they gave us a little
YouTube,
slap on the wrist.
YouTube gave us a warning. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll message Soft Moon and say, hey, just trying to show you off. But
well, I think it's complicated. I think you have to let.
Well, you got to go through like their publisher.
You have to
and
let
everything.
YouTube know in advance.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
But yeah, we'll stay away from copyrighted stuff. But yeah, Soft Moon gave me permission to use the music. So Wasting is in the film. Oh, you know what? What other songs? Let me look up.
My name is Hank. My name.
We're gonna go to my Spotify playlist. I think I have the song. Yeah, I have the song Without in there as well. But Wasting's the one. If you want to know what my movie's about, listen to that song. You'll get the idea. But they responded very positively. They're like, yeah, send us the movie when it's done. So I sent them a final cut of the film, and they gave a lot of good feedback too. So I thought that was really nice of them. Shouts out to Soft Moon. Yeah. So that was another thing we wanted to discuss. What are we doing on time here? We're trying to make this run an hour, right?
Yeah, 7:10. You get 20.
Okay, so we've got 20 minutes left. I
Do
guess
a meme review. We could do live Twitter.
I'm not trying to tread on anyone else's story. No, we'll go ahead and go into fashion. So today I am wearing Rucking Fotten, a really cool clothing brand who does. I have to stand up to show this outfit because we've got the matching pants, obviously, and we're wearing the J's too.
I don't know if I should.
We're wearing the J's, obviously. If green screen messes up, who cares, you know? But they did a phenomenal job on this piece. It's got the puzzle box on the back. They're a really cool brand. They do Japanese posters of different movies, usually horror films. But they've done other stuff like some Quentin Tarantino films and other stuff like that. But this was a Hellraiser set that they put out, and I just thought they did such a phenomenal job.
I don't know what you're talking about with the green screen. We're changing all these sets in real time.
Yeah, there's someone behind us.
There's no green screen.
Swapping us out. It's interesting. Hellraiser, I actually just got into it recently, the series. I think I'm on the 4th movie right now, so I've been watching all of them. But almost buying this outfit made me want to get into the films. Because, like, I think I watched the first film, and I was like, that's enough for me to buy a whole outfit based on a franchise, right? So we did that. We went ahead and did that. Color's probably off a bit because, but I love this series. It's very cheesy. It's very fun. I think it's hilarious. I love the Cenobite designs. And the films just get wackier and wackier as the series goes on. And they're not really even the best films. The first movie's so... it's got like 3 plots going on. It's all over the place. But the visual effects and the makeup, again, relating that back to Fright Night, I love that type of stuff. Like, if you've got a real monster in your movie and it's covered in slime and everything and there's an actor under there, I'm all about it. If you're ripping someone's arm off and it's not just like a composite, which I've done that effect before, and it's effective and it's cool and it's fun, but if you can have them flopping around a bit with this nub that's gushing out blood, like, that stuff's so fun to me. And Hellraiser, this franchise, obviously does that a lot. They put all the actors in the prosthetics, and all the fun liquid latex effects they do with ripping skin off. So definitely recommend those films if you like cheesy 80s, 90s horror films. I've seen the first 3, and I've seen the newest one that's on Netflix. And the newest one that's on Netflix, it feels like a music video the way it's shot, and he like fights like angels in it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I had such a good time with that film. So much fun. But that's our fashion shout out for today. We aren't sponsored yet, obviously, because we are. I know, I would give a bruh to that too. It's our first cast, but hopefully maybe we can get some people on here, talk about other brands and stuff. If you know anyone, let us know in the comments below. Send us a message. If you have any emails you need to send, please send it to dalgproductions@gmail.com. Those will get seen. I think that's the email I have linked on my Instagram. We'll fix that if not.
I'll post it in the comments.
Post it in the comments. dalgproductions@gmail.com. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, or money to send us, just send us, you can send money in the email, right? You just open it up, pull it out of the computer screen.
I don't know if you can do that yet.
That's a bummer.
Set up a Venmo.
We got Jab in here. Jab, we'll give you a shout out. That's who I do all the YouTube poop panels with. We've done a total of, we did one at SwampCon, we went to MomoCon, and did one at 4 a.m. They always give us really weird hours for the YouTube poop panels.
What is a YouTube poop panel? I've seen YouTube poop, but what is...
So, you know, like at a convention, you do a panel, and you talk about things. I mean, kind of like what we're doing right now, but I would do it in front of a live audience.
Right.
And we do panels talking about YouTube poops. So usually we'll talk about the kind of history of YouTube poops and what started them, where'd they come from, where are they at today, what are our favorites, what are some, there's a lot of videos that I show during it that aren't necessarily YouTube poops themselves, but in spirit are very inspired by or in the style of. So I love it. I love hosting those panels. If you ever see a convention that says YouTube poop panel and it's got my name on it, please come, tell all your friends, tell grandma. It's a good time. But we just did EXPCon and they gave us 2 panels. So we did a first one where it was like an educational panel telling everyone, like, if you don't know what YouTube poops are, this is what it is. And if you do know what they are, then enjoy the ride. And then we had another panel right after Mega 64's that we just did a watch party. So we were just playing like all the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air YouTube poops. And because Mega 64 was there, they came to our panel. So we were playing all the ones that people have made of Rocco and his Pizza Day video. I don't know if you want to pull that up, but...
what is it?
Just look up Rocco Bodie Pizza Day. Yeah, Jab's in the comments here. Nameless Doll is one that I always shout out to. Nameless Doll Illuminated. That's the video I always show every panel. It's gotten some of the best reactions of all of our panels. It's the best rotoscoping I have ever seen of animation. And that's a very, very skilled individual. So highly recommend checking out Nameless Doll, specifically Illuminated. Let me know. Actually, next week on the cast, I want everyone to come and tell me what their favorite Nameless Doll video is. So that's your homework for the week. You've got till next Wednesday. Don't fail me. But yeah, those panels are great. I love hosting those. I want to start making stuff for the panels too. I've had this dream, and we're gonna kind of use this to segue into the last thing I wanted to talk about for the last 10 minutes here. I've had this dream I wanted to do YouTube poops of every Star Wars film. Like I wanted to take the entirety of like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them, and do like a whole long YouTube poop. Because I myself have so many like inside jokes with Star Wars and stuff that I want to do. Star Wars is a big part of my life. Let's hear some hype in the chat for Rise of Skywalker. Have you seen the new trailer?
And his name is John.
Okay, don't get me started on John Cena because you're getting me distracted here. But this is something that needs to be talked about. I was listening to my Daily Mix 1 on Spotify. And I have like 7 daily mixes because I listen to so many different genres of music. But my Daily Mix 1 is usually like my metal. So you've got like Slipknot, you've got Rob Zombie, you've got like System of a Down and Rammstein in there. So I'm listening to my playlist, Slipknot song goes by. And obviously because I've been listening to Rammstein, they throw in a bunch of like industrial German stuff. And that's a little more electronic and weird. And so it's weird when that stuff's in there sometimes too. But I'm like, it fits enough.
If it fits, it ships.
If it fits, it ships. And then the next song comes on, and it just starts. And then you know how it goes. I'm not going to sing the whole thing. But
And his name is John Cena.
Yeah. The John Cena theme was in my Daily 1 playlist, along with Rob Zombie and System of a Down. And I'm still trying to figure out why that was in there. I mean, I know that's a song I have saved to my library. I do take part and listen to some WWE entrance music. It's a good pastime. I'm a big fan of Brodus Clay's theme.
Dom Cena in the comments.
Dom Cena. Thanks, Jab. Well, next YouTube poop panel, I will have to throw someone into the table. So I'll dive off the stage and choke slam someone. Well, it'll happen. We'll make it YouTube poop wrestling. We'll just expand the genre. But segueing back to Star Wars. Like I said earlier in this video, I am working on a video right now with my sister. This year we have binged all of canon Star Wars. So that's all the films, all the spin-off films, all 3 of the canon TV shows, Clone Wars, Rebels, and Resistance. I'm not sure where I think that video is going to go on my sister's channel. I might try to also put it on my channel as well. We'll see. But we just kind of talk about our reaction. It's going to be like an hour-long video. I'm trying to cut it down now. But, I mean, we're literally going over 15-plus things of Star Wars. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But it's fun. But I want to do YouTube poops of Star Wars. I have a lot of specific jokes I want to employ for everything from the prequels to the sequels to the original trilogy. Yes, it's because Spotify couldn't see him and he slipped in. John Cena got me. Yeah, it wasn't Spotify trolling me. It was John Cena himself. Oh, are you pulling up the nameless doll?
This just looks like a video of the editing process.
Oh, okay.
Just gonna kind of casually play behind.
Oh, okay.
The viewers.
Here's some free advertisement. Nameless doll.
Yeah.
I mean, they deserve it because I talk about them all the time at all of my YouTube poop panels. It's great. It's great stuff. But they take animations like Disney films and some other films as well, and they rotoscope them all out, and they rotoscope the characters out, and they match the movements to different scenes and other characters, and
oh fuck,
it's so time consuming. It's incredible. But great stuff. But Star Wars, I saw. What'd you guys think of that last trailer? Taylor, did you see the final trailer for Rise of Skywalker?
I did not.
Yeah. I'm afraid if you put that up, YouTube will just actually jump in the door and kick us off. Yep. So we won't show it. Although I feel like that's like a commentative thing.
Well, I think you can do it. You just can't play the sound for more than 7 seconds.
Right. Sound is where they'll get you.
Yeah.
If I play John Williams, he will be in here and he's the one who stole my debit card probably.
Yeah.
So screw you, John Williams. John Williams has never made a bad song. It's great. I'm looking forward to the soundtrack for the new film. But yeah, if you haven't seen the new trailer, it's good. It doesn't it barely shows anything new though, which I thought was very interesting. I thought we were going to see like the Sith troopers that they've been marketing super heavily or like a split second of Palpatine's face, but they're really saving it. They're really saving all of it for when we go see the movie in 2 months. So I'm really excited for that, obviously. I've got a lot of theories. I'm thinking if you watch the show and you know about the ones, the father, the son, and the daughter from Clone Wars, and they're referenced in Rebels with the spoiler alert, there's some time warping. I think that's going to be involved. Obviously, they're bringing back an old character. Obviously, they're bringing a character that has to be immortal somehow. Oh, look, we've got another cosplay of mine.
That's great. That looks good.
Thank you. And it's funny, I do almost all of my Photoshops for my cosplay on my phone. I use Photoshop Mix. I love that app, and I just do layers. I could do so much more with like Photoshop on the computer and really get in depth with it, but I feel like it doesn't need it. And I'm always on the go. I'm always trying to, I need to do a post today. So I just slap some stuff together and get that put up there and make sure there's enough layers to give it some depth. But that's my hero cosplay from Darling in the Franxx. Did that come out this year? Darling in the Franxx? Was that 2018? I think so. Was that the beginning?
Sure.
No. That was a year or two ago. But that was a cosplay I always wanted to do. I need to revisit him because that's like the only good picture I have of that cosplay. I really like that anime. I know a lot of people had different opinions on it. I felt like my only issue is that the ending was very rushed. I didn't think it was a bad ending. I just thought it was a rushed ending, and it should have been like a 40-episode anime and not like a 20-something episode anime. Because it just needed more development for the ending that they chose. But yeah.
I have osteoporosis.
Is that iTubs?
It is.
Yeah, iDubbbz, we'll have him in on the show.
He was supposed to be here today.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here today, but he said, my debit card got stolen and I got caught up in traffic, so I couldn't come. He's off fighting John Williams for his credit card, so good stuff. We're getting to the last 5 minutes here of the first Dom Gold update live. I don't think we're gonna have it. I don't think we're gonna have that little sub tag on there of live. I think we're just gonna call it the Dom Gold update. But they will be live. They will be once a week. And we'll have them recorded and hopefully up on YouTube the following day, maybe the following 2 days, so I can do a little bit more editing, or I don't know. We're figuring out the process, people.
Look at that. Some local.
Oh yeah, we got some local artists in there. They actually have some art up here in the studio that we're into. Great space. We're working out of a really great space here. I don't know if that's our sponsor we need to shout out. We'll talk about them later. Talk about them now. Do you want to shout out Taylor for Podcast Central?
Oh yeah.
All of your podcasting needs. Hit up Taylor Shrum from Podcast Central. Did you cut off? Did this mic? Oh no.
No, they're both on.
It seemed like it was cut off for a second.
No, they're both on. We're jamming, yeah. If you're looking to make a podcast or a live stream, hit up your boy. I'm humongous, and I'm ready to rock. So.
Humongous. Oh no. Kanye's gonna sue us. Get it off. He's gonna take us down. Although, to be fair, he stole that from something else, so.
Yeah.
How many times does something need to be stolen before it becomes public domain?
73.
Is that true?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, that's what's really interesting. Public domain things are really interesting to me. Like Night of the Living Dead, that movie's like public domain. Like you can show that movie anywhere, and it's free. Like no one's gonna come after you for it. That's why, like in a lot of horror films, they're watching Night of the Living Dead because they didn't need like any licensing for it or something.
Right.
Fun fact, I directed a stage production of Night of the Living Dead in high school. It was really cool. We did all the makeup in black and white. So like there was like black and white blood, black and white face, black and white clothing. I got to be the zombie in some of the audience. We took it to state competition. It was great.
What was your first costume ever?
First costume ever? Like just... Probably would go back to, I guess, Halloween as a child. Yeah.
Right? A diaper would be the very first.
A human being was my first cosplay.
I get it. He's a human being.
Yeah. I want to say, I don't know, I guess if you want to narrow it a little bit more to go to cosplay, because I started cosplaying when I was in like 4th, 5th grade maybe, because my sister was getting me into anime and was like, hey, come to this convention thing. So I remember I was like 10 years old, so I did Ben 10. And one of the coolest things is I was sitting in the lobby waiting for the shuttle to take me to the con. And this guy walks up to me and goes, are you dressed as Ben 10? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I draw Ben 10. And I go, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm the artist for the show. Can I get a picture with you? I've never seen anyone dress up as Ben 10 before. I was like, yeah. And he gave me like a hand-drawn picture of Heat Blast that he drew right out of his portfolio. I still have that hanging up in my room.
That's wild.
I also did Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! I stayed in my genre, so I cosplayed a lot of kid characters. So I did like Kid Sora from Kingdom Hearts, that one scene you see of him in like the first game. I did Kid Kakashi, where you see him in that one flashback. I did that kid from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. I think his name's Dimitri or Demix, or I don't remember his name. Ben 10, the 10-year-old. So I stayed within characters that I could feasibly do. I remember when I was cosplaying Yugi and I was at MegaCon back. this had to be like 10, 11 years ago. They always were doing MegaCon when a cheerleading convention was going on. And so there was always cheerleaders and cosplayers like kind of crossing paths a bit. And I was walking around and a cheerleader runs up to me and she goes, "Are you Yugi?" And I went, "Yeah." And she was like, "Okay." And she calls over and her entire cheer troupe comes over and takes a picture with me. And I wish I had this picture. I don't have this picture. So if any of you have any information to the whereabouts of an entire cheerleader troupe with a 10, 11-year-old Yugi Moto cosplayer, that's me, and I need that picture, so please send it in. But that's all we have for you today for the Dom Gold update. We are at an hour now, I believe.
Yep.
So we'll wrap up the show. Any final comments, questions, concerns in the chat that need to be discussed? We went over some spooky stuff. We went over some anime stuff. We went over some spooky anime stuff.
So it looks like we need to get intro music, outro music, like all custom out. We can there's always like a lo-fi live stream that we can tap into.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing right now.
I don't know if you like that, if we want to find something else, if the people like that, if the people hate it. I don't know how much people are loving these.
I'm in my mum's car.
Yeah, I might make my own soundboard.
The car.
We don't need any of that. We'll make a Dom Gold official soundboard.
That sounds good.
But yeah, if you liked today's Dom Gold update, tell your friends. It'll be live again next week. Hopefully we can be on time. Do we want to try to do 6:30 every week? Because I'm down for doing it later. Or is that too late for you?
6:30 might be a little late, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, Taylor's got some prior engagements, so we're trying to fit it into his schedule.
Yeah.
We were originally supposed to start at 5 today, but we
Yeah.
went 6:30. I want to go later. We'll figure it out. We'll get it down. So it's not on a solid schedule, but
There's two of you. How does that happen?
oh whoa, can I like?
Beat that other guy up.
Oh, is that? Do you have my live stream?
Yeah.
Playing next to me
Oh,
live.
now there's 3 of you.
Oh god, this is a headache.
All right, I'm gonna change it.
Into the multiverse. But yeah, we'll fix it. You can count on Wednesdays for sure, I think. I don't think Wednesdays are an issue for either of us, right?
You can absolutely count on it, probably.
Yeah.
So, but what I mean, you'll post.
I'll post.
We'll make like stuff. We'll make materials, marketing materials. and stuff.
Subscribe to the channel. Keep that notification button clicked so you know when we go live. If you tuned in late to the show, hopefully we did record it and it's going to be uploaded to the channel. So we'll have weekly content now. That's a new thing for me. And hopefully with that, we'll also get the ball rolling with stuff that's not live production. But yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it well.
We're doing it.
So I think that's it. I think we're signing off.
All right.
Do we want to get one last look of the fit of the day?
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll do one last UTD, as the Jawas say.
Oh, we're on the wrong. Go for it. Look at this wild man.
We even got Pinhead on the knee. Thanks, Rucking Fotten. Y'all are the real MVPs. We got that puzzle box.
Is that champion?
Yeah, it is. They're actually champion. Where's the? You must have saw the logo.
Yeah, it's down there.
Now they did have a champion sweater that had the same print on it to go with this, but it's Florida and it doesn't get cold enough for sweaters, so I went with the long sleeve shirt. I'm actually kind of sweating up in the studio here. Hope we can get like a box fan going next time.
No, it's not possible.
Aw, damn. Zoom in on me and get ready to cut. Now, I want everyone out there to have a fantastic night. Hold on to your loved ones and tell them how much they mean to you. And tell them about my movie and Dorohedoro. Good night.
This is